Is it a pride to be a teacher?
Oh yes, more than a pride, it is a passion to be a teacher. All that we need is better treatment. It is with love we build a nation. All that we need is better treatment. Ooh. A teacher is a nation builder who spends sleepless nights preparing his lesson. Transformation of education begins with the teacher. He does everything to meet up with changing times. They build doctors, pilots, engineers, and all great people. Oh no, with meager salary. We plead on the parents to stop negative intervention. Instead, assist them do their work. It is with love. It is with love. It is with love. We build a nation. All that we need is better treatment. It is with love. It is with love. Yeah, yeah. We build a nation. All that we need is better treatment.
I'm shedding my tears for a teacher.
I'm giving you knowledge, you slap me. I'm building your future, you kill me. Oh no, respect the teacher.
I'm shedding my tears as a teacher.
I'm giving you knowledge, you slap me. I'm building your future, you kill me. Oh why? Respect the teacher.
Teacher, we tapsila.
Teacher, we want me.
Teacher,
teacher, we tapsila. Teacher, we lonely. Teacher, we tapsila. Teacher, we want me. Teacher, we tapsila. Teacher, we lonely. Teacher, we tapsila. Teacher, we want me. Teacher, we tapsila. Teacher, we lonely.
song. Mr. Joe Bassi, Mega Kiwana Papa. Oh, now Ambazonian land this. When we make error for some of be Ambazonia. Now God, they will give Ambazonian land for we. And we must fight. We give them a fight. Oh, I remember time when my brother Weaver, Davido, when injustice become law, resistance become a duty. Ha ha ha! Venom, 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 venom. Number soldier people, yeah. Ah, Sector Chris, Anu, mega bless you, my brother. Iba, 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 Iba. Ah, who no go know. Say we be choosing people for inside Ambazonia. Ah, Papa President Sokoro with the whole government, the whole interim government, the whole army. Now me see myself for Ambazonia. I dey talk. Say may God give us strength, give us wisdom. Party worry boya. Oh, the generous. Ngombe tuja, Ndab, Basa, baby.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being there. So today we have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the hero. We all know Mola Njoh Litumbe. Okay, Mola Njoh Litumbe has been a powerful hero for Southern Cameroon. He's a statesman, and Mola Njoh Litumbe died at the age of 93. He remains a very high-profile activist of Southern Cameroon, and well, we know he has been with NCNC and a very front line with the civil society. May his soul rest in peace. We all know he died in May 26th of 2020. One of his famous quotes that we all know, he once said, "You are always leading me into temptation because I believe that there is a country called La République du Cameroun which does not include Southern Cameroon." Well, I'll be talking to you as a Southern Cameroonian because I have never accepted that I ever joined La République. You must tell me which Cameroon. Okay, so he was a very strong protagonist for the Southern Cameroon cause, and he was, we all know, a very respected statesman, and he has a lot of interviews that he really expressed himself as a statesman. Okay, in February of 2004 at the University of Boya Amphitheater, okay, Mola was speaker at the colloquium organized as part of activities to commemorate Cameroon's 50th anniversary of reunification. In the presence of the then Prime Minister, Philomene Yang, Mola stated, "There is no documentary evidence at the United Nations organization as required that Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon legally yoked together to become one country." Okay. Mola Njoh Litumbe, speaking at the colloquium, made it clear that the case of annexation of UN British administered territory of Southern Cameroon, okay, was not that the Southern Cameroon has never got independence from Britain. Okay, we have challenged La République du Cameroon that if you are accusing the woman, he said, if you are accusing the woman in your house of divorce, you must have in your pocket a marriage certificate that produces any instrument acceptable under international law to prove that we ever joined. Okay, otherwise you are exercising colonialism, which has been condemned by the United Nations by denying the people of Southern Cameroon their sovereign right to independence. This is Mola Njoh Litumbe speaking. He told the Voice of America. This is in August of 2010. Okay, he said, "I told the Political Affairs Department in the UN that to solve this issue, they need to invite La République du Cameroon and Southern Cameroon to the United Nations to get into an agreement which will be put in writing such that both parties can come together as equal partners, and that if both parties cannot agree, then let them go to their separate ways, because," he said, "because what we have now is akin to an Akwara or Njomba kind of arrangement." Mola Njoh Litumbe made the declaration at his member house at Bokwango, Boya, while briefing the Post newspaper. So he had a lot of quotes that, if you listen, he has been a very strong proponent, okay, of this cause of Southern Cameroon. Okay, he once said, if you lose your shirt to a thief and he's been wearing it, and suddenly you discover it on him and you say, "Hey, this is my shirt," but he says, "Boy, I have been wearing this shirt, my sweat has been on it," does that absolve him from the crime of stealing? No. Okay, what is decentralization when everything emanated from Yaoundé? Okay, I am about 6 to 7 years older than the president. I am still alive because I have unfinished work to do. All my contemporaries have ascended to heaven. That is what late Mola Njoh Litumbe said on CRTV. Okay, he has a lot of interesting quotes. Okay, those are ones that they are very popular quotes that he mentioned. Okay, and it is very interesting listening to Mola Njoh Litumbe. But I want you to listen to this interview that I had on Equinox TV.
To the United States on the invitation of the diaspora there.
Like you said before?
Yes. They had listened to the first interview which Equinox granted me here, and they felt that if I was going to tell the story of Southern Cameroon, which involves some important key players like the United Nations, La République du Cameroun, Nigeria, that the matter is international and should not be limited to the confines of Cameroon alone. They therefore invited me to come and talk to the international community in the capital of the world as it is, so that the voice of this crying child of Southern Cameroon can be heard in the four corners of the world.
So you were invited by Cameroonians who live abroad?
Yes.
Not by the government of the United
No,
States
no,
of
no,
America.
no, no, no. It's Cameroonians who live abroad, having listened to the
yes,
interview.
like you mentioned before.
Yes.
Did you meet some American authorities?
Not officially. I left that to the people who had invited me. They were to invite the people who were to listen to me when I addressed them.
Was that the first time that you were invited
Yes.
overseas?
Yes.
Since you started this struggle?
Yes.
All right. What did you tell them?
Oh, I told them about the problems facing Southern Cameroon. I gave them the history of how two United Nations trust territories, East Cameroon, which was French Cameroon, and British Cameroons, were established. They were parts of the German colony of Cameroon, because when Germany was defeated after the First World War, it renounced all its African territories at the Treaty of Versailles. And because France had overrun the greater part of German Cameroon, it was given that as a mandated territory of the League of Nations. And Britain, a smaller portion called British Cameroons, was also given to Great Britain under the League of Nations. On the formation of the United Nations in 1945 in San Francisco, these mandated territories were converted to trust territories, and agreements signed respectively with France over French Cameroon and with Britain over British Cameroons to prepare these separate territories ultimately to self-government or independence. Now, France granted independence to its own sector on 1st of January 1960. Southern or British Cameroons was still a trust territory. And on 14th of December 1960, the United Nations passed the landmark resolution 1514, saying that colonialism was evil and all colonized people should be granted unconditional independence, whether they were rich or poor, or whether they were educated or stark illiterates. They said that these people were there before the white man came, and they will find their way if they were left on their own.
Mola Njoh Litumbe, he has been a very strong proponent, as you can listen to him. Okay, he has always said the union between the Southern Cameroon and La Republique is illegal. That is what he has always said. Okay, he made mention that in many of his outings. Okay, he said La République du Cameroon remains an unconsummated act, an illegal union. Okay, this union in 1961 between the Southern Cameroon and the French Cameroon. So he made mention that even in 1954, Southern Cameroon break away from the eastern region of Nigeria, okay? And there were supposed to be talks for the total independence of Southern Cameroon, not by joining any other country, okay? That is why we saw a lot of discrepancy when it comes to that, and he has been a very strong proponent about that issue when it comes to that, okay? And the Nigerian Constitutional Conference that was held agreed that the Southern Cameroon Trust Territory should become a separate unit within the contemplated federation, okay? And the Southern Cameroon Executive Council of 1954 was headed by some scholars from the British side, and they really were the one that were not really pushful for this independence. because they wanted to use Southern Cameroon like a buffer area where they can do their transactions to Nigeria. Okay, you had people like Oliver Littleton, the British colonial secretary, who presided over most of the meetings with the Executive Council of Southern Cameroon. Okay, and also people like Mola Njoh Litumbe was also part of this history. That's why he very prominent. He can say a lot of things. You know of AML Ndeli, and that was the type of coalition that they were trying to build in 1954. That did not go well, so they had to leave the Nigerian house because the British were not really ready to really help in the leadership. So our people there had to leave the Nigerian house of Enugu. Okay, the Southern Cameroon had its own legislative assembly, okay, and its own executive council. So they had to form their own. And by 1956, when Ndeli was the GM and handed over to Foncha, okay, so even by the time the 1961, before 1st of October, they were already having the government, they were already having a change of government. Okay, yeah.
It was a country like Britain who grumbled and said that in some territories they have set up a police force, an army, and a public service, that if they granted independence as had been decided upon the previous on 14th of December, there will be chaos, because in some areas these people were not able to raise the necessary funds to run these public services. So the UN then said, well, look, the ultimate objective of any country is self-government or independence. But if a territory feels that it cannot carry all the burdens of independence, it could negotiate with an already sovereign country to correct the deficiencies that it has. For example, a country may be too small to cater for its own defense, or it may not have sufficient resources to establish embassies around the world. In that case, the UN said in those circumstances, it could opt to join a neighboring sovereign state, either by way of association or by integration. And the resolution 1541 passed the day